Hello everyone and welcome to HPL Craft Time. I'm Audrey and today I'm going to show you some fun and easy ways that you can jazz up your hand lettering or even just your basic handwriting with just a few simple tools. All you'll need is a basic fine tip marker and something to add a little color. I'm going to use some Crayola Super Tips. We're going to talk about the basics first. So I'm going to write out a few letters from the alphabet, and what I want you to pay attention to is the direction that the pen moves. Every time that your pen moves down, you'll actually use your marker to create a thicker or wider stroke. Every time that your pen moves up, the pen will use less pressure and create a thinner or smaller stroke. Now let's look at some lowercase letters. The same is true with these as well. Every time your pen moves in a downward direction, we're going to use our markers to create a wider or thicker stroke. I'm going to draw out a couple letters here just to give you an idea of how to get started with this. Now that you have a basic understanding of pen direction, let's add some color. I'm going to use my Crayola Super Tip here to show you how I can use the side of my marker to create a wider or thicker stroke on all the places where my pen would naturally move down towards the bottom of the paper. You'll notice that on some letters they have quite a large area where there's a downward stroke, whereas others there's just a small section. Every letter will be different. Now let's try it with some cursive. The same premise is true here. Every time your pen moves downward, you're going to have a thicker stroke. Something that you might want to consider is whenever you are doing cursive letters, take your time, move slowly, and you can even pause in between each letter. Let's go back and take a closer look now at all the places where the pen moved down. I'm going to draw some arrows here so that you can get a better idea of where you can add your thicker or broader strokes. Now this time I'm going to add both the thin and the thicker strokes at the same time. Whenever the pen has to move down, I'm going to rotate my marker so that the flat side of the tip makes a thicker line, and whenever I'm moving upward on the paper, I'm going to release the pressure and only use just the tip of the marker to create a very light or very thin stroke. This takes quite a bit of patience and quite a bit of practice as well to get it right. And remember, you don't have to move quickly. Take each letter in its own turn and practice over and over and over. Now let's see what this looks like without our guidelines. Remember, you're going to use just the tip of the marker whenever it's moving in an upward direction, and you're going to rotate to use the flat side of the marker to create a broader stroke whenever the pen or the marker is moving in a downward direction. You may notice that I pause after each letter, and this is to make sure that I can rotate my pen or my marker once again to make sure that I can get the correct side or tip of the marker to create each letter. Now once you've mastered an understanding of up and down strokes, you can then practice your faux calligraphy. Faux basically means fake. So what we're going to do is go back and we're going to add even thicker downstrokes to our letters to actually make it look like real calligraphy. Now that you've got your faux calligraphy down, we're going to embellish this even further. I'm taking a marker that is in the same color scheme but has a bit of a darker tone, and I'm just adding lines from the bottom of the letter in the thicker parts of the letter and kind of drifting them up towards the top. Now what this is going to do is make it look like you have two different colors that you have blended into one. Now Crayola Super Tips aren't the best at blending, so it's best to use very light strokes and to try and only go over one section at a time. Once you're done, you're left with this two-toned look. Now let's try it in a different way. We're going to use a different word here, and instead of using lines, we're going to use dots. This is called stippling. I'm going to use more dots closer together towards the bottom of the letter to make it look darker, and then as I get towards the top of the letter, they're going to be more and more spaced out. You'll notice that there are no dots towards the top of the letter. For our next word, we're going to add a drop shadow. So I am taking a very light color here, light yellow that contrasts, and I'm adding lines to the side. Now what you want to do is you want to add lines to the side opposite of where you think your light source will be hitting your word. For the word Houston, our light source is coming from the right, which would make a shadow that falls to the left. Now let's really get crazy. Don't be afraid to mix and match your print and your cursive styles together. You can add capital letters and lowercase letters even in the same word. Should you add some doodles, maybe a drop shadow? Should you try out one of the methods that you learned today? The combinations are endless and you're only limited by your own imagination. We hope you enjoyed craft time today with the Houston Public Library. If you enjoyed today's video, please give us a thumbs up, and if you want to try out this video for yourself, feel free to tag us on all your social media with hashtag #ILoveHPL. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!